Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Green Factor, a show where we talk about green design and the business of sustainability. I'm your host, Haris the Green Carpenter, and today we'll be talking about making money from your unwanted items. With me today, we have Mr. Johnson from Unearth. Um, Hi, Johnson.
Hi, Arif.
So Johnson is actually my uni mates. So when he decided to go into this field of uh, working with unwanted items, and I've seen his progress and growth, and I feel like it's really interesting what you are doing, and also it's very aligned with sustainability and security. So that's why I invited Johnson to come in and share his story. So hi Johnson.
Hi, everyone.
So I think for before we go into the business side, for the benefit of the audience and the listener, can you share a little bit more about your journey?
Okay, sure. When I first got the idea, I think one of the first people that I reached out to was Harif, and he gave me a little bit of insight. Probably tried to scare me a little bit into not doing it, but yeah, I mean, since then, I think we've grown a lot and we faced a lot of challenges along the way, lah. Mainly like first of all, like building a system for what we're doing, which is basically collecting used items from people because every item is unique, right? Every item is a single SKU. So we had to make sure that the system could like input and output everything and make sure everything is accountable. The next thing is to operate efficiently, then building new relationships and managing and fundraising. So there's a lot of challenges that we face along the way. Lah. And I'm sure there will be 1,000 more. But however, I think I'm lucky because I think we have put in place a really good team. I have my co-founder Eric, Jermaine, Chris, Anis, and Atika, which all handles different parts of the business. Where I think that I can foresee us going together with the business until we're a bit old lah, beruban a bit lah. Yeah. So
Johnson,
yeah, yeah.
your background, Johnson. We want to
And
know your background, what you
my
learn,
background.
and like what
Oh,
triggers it and all that lah.
so my personal journey lah. I see, I
Mm.
see. So I started off doing a few startups. Previously, I ran a startup called Spot News, where it's a news aggregation app. But because of certain reasons, it failed, and but I learned a lot of lessons from it. Then after that, I went into digital marketing, uh, and also managed an esports team called GeekFan. And then after that, during MCO, I suddenly got this idea, so I decided to just go for it lah. That's what happened. That's the background.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so the business itself. Now we're going to talk about Unearth.
Mhm.
So Unearth, what does your business offer actually?
Right. So what we are building is we are building the most convenient and accountable way for people to resell their used or unwanted items. Okay, used or unwanted items. We are starting off with furniture, which is one of the most difficult things for people to get rid of because usually people will just pay to get rid of it or try to sell it online, which to sell each single item takes about five hours of your time, lah. Like taking photos, chatting. And if you want to sell a whole room or a whole house full of furniture, that's going to take you forever. All right, it's a lot of work. So we want to remove that work from people and make it easy. And along the way, we found out that this can also help businesses, to get rid of their idle assets or their unused furniture. So we are starting to do that as well. And for the consumers, for the customers, we offer affordable furniture that is good for the environment lah. So we believe, and it actually costs a lot of carbon for people, like for you to produce each piece of furniture, and we want to remove all those from the buying part of things, by introducing this circular economy.
Yeah, so one of the things that I get asked a lot is people have a lot of this furniture, old
Mhm.
furniture from heritage, and and from their great grandparents and all that, and they want me to either restore or what they can do with it. Sometimes they just want to like throw them away because of
Mm-hmm.
space and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I do a little bit of restoration because I believe that rather than throwing it away, we can still reuse. And a lot of the furniture that is made last time from solid wood are actually still
Mm-hmm.
good,
Mm-hmm.
and just with a little bit of touch up, we can
Yeah.
restore it. So
Yeah.
that is, but however, it's not my main business, so I cannot do a lot of it. So I always think like there is a space for this kind of thing to be either resell or those kind of thing.
Right. Right.
And it's always a problem for consumer or like someone that wants to use carousel or something,
Mm.
because there's a learning curve, and you have, like you say, you have to spend time and all that, right?
Mm.
But what uh, why do you like decide to specifically India? Is it something like you experience, or why? Because there's a
Yeah.
lot of things you can do.
Yeah. So, well, the idea started during the past MCO lah, when I was stuck at home, and then I found that there's a lot of used things that was left behind by my ex-girlfriend. Then my whole apartment was cluttered with it, and then I decided to sell it online lah. Try to sell it online. Then I found the process really troublesome, very time consuming, very troublesome. I needed to attend to the chats, and if there's a lot of items, you need to upload them one by one, and write a description for each one of them, which is very, very, very troublesome, and then people want to view the item, which I need to travel and view them, and meet them, sorry, to meet them, to let them see the item, and then only you can sell. So it's extremely, extremely troublesome. So, and I found it that because I came from digital marketing, so I'm a bit of very familiar with technology, and I found it difficult to manage. So that was when I started sending boxes out to my friends, to give to see if there are people that face the same problem as me, and they started giving me a lot of stuff, which I started selling it off lah, and that's how the whole idea kind of like started actually.
Hmm. So your service would include like what if I say, let's say I have a cabinet at home.
Mm.
So when I engage with you, what happened?
So when you will go to our website and fill out a form, then our customer service will reach out to you to ask you what you need removed from the house to be resold, and then you will schedule a date where our team goes over to your place to handle everything for you, to bring it down. If you live at condo, bring it down to the truck, bring it back to the warehouse. We clean it. We do some minor fixes and restoration currently, and then it goes to take photo, and then we list it online. So and then we handle the whole selling process until the item reaches the customer's house. Um,
Sorry. So there
yeah,
will be no cost to the owner,
yeah.
and you will do everything. So when it sells, like what happened?
So when it sells, basically we will take a 50% cut of whatever we sell it for, and there's some service charges that go along with it as well, lah, depending on the difficulty of the collection. Which so we take nothing from the sellers upfront. Yeah, and usually sellers they check in with us after a month or so, to see what has sold, and we send them a what we call an SOA, a statement of account, to show them what has sold for how much, and from there we make payment within 1 or 2 working days lah, from the sending of the SOA.
Understand.
Yeah.
So when we talk about collecting and making it centralized and making a business out of it, it's something. It's not, you're not the first person that does it. There's a lot
Mm,
of secondhand store, and
mm,
there's a lot of other competitors that is doing it as well.
mm.
So what are the challenge you face in terms of making this work?
Right. So there's a few very big challenges with this business because there's no like currently there's very little to no um, existing infrastructure that we need to write on. So everything we need to build from scratch. So for example, the single SKU um, inventory management system where we need to take into account every item and tie it to the owner and tie it to the seller. So that's kind of like the first challenge that we need to deal with. And it's also a very manual business. So there's a lot of manpower involved. So we need to build systems that could facilitate their job so that they can do their job better. And this is all enabled by technology lah. And lastly, it's really, really hard work lah. It's really, really hard work, and it requires a lot of space and operational excellence.
So, despite all the challenges that you've gone through, because what I believe it's important to have your kind of business is to control.
The seller relations, so the core technology will enable all these functions of the business.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool,
our
cool.
business is more than just logistics. There's a lot of like customer service. There's a lot of
Elements to it, lah.
yeah, elements to it that makes the whole thing work together. The selling part of things, keeping track of the sales, all these things
Yeah, and because it has a lot of tech element to it, so you need to have tech people with you, right?
That's
So you have internal tech team, or a lot of it is external.
Yes, we have a CTO. His name is Jermaine. So he mainly works on the tech of the company.
So I've also heard that you right now doing your fundraising process and all that.
Right.
So w- how how does it go, or like what kind of things are you kind of moving towards in terms of your fundraising thing?
So I mean, as of these few months, our focus is to grow our revenue. Um, and the way that we do that is by making our supply collection more efficient, and also by adding collection capacity, which is basically to increase the number of trucks we have and being able to manage them efficiently. So then, at the same time, we are looking to raise funds. So we were part of the Lead Accelerator, which I think Harith is part of as well, I think. And they've been providing some really good input and insight as well to move towards an ECF round in June. Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. So I think if you guys want to know or be part of the growth, I'm also interested to be part of the growth as well. So keep tuning in to what Johnson is doing. We have Amin. Amin said hello. Thank you, Amin, for listening in. And we have Bernard. A question for Johnson. Hi, Johnson. You mentioned the demand is high, and also you mentioned high quality furniture. Is that what the new buyer wants? Can you walk us through some of your real clients' needs?
Okay, so yes, the demand for used furniture is actually really high. So there's a few types of customers that we have. First of all, is when you talk about direct consumers, it's people who are deal seekers, people who want like a good deal on the things that they buy. Secondly, there's people who owns rental properties, for example, that needs to furnish a lot of different properties. And there's also some businesses that actually put sustainability first, and they look to buy secondhand first if they can, so those are the three types of businesses. But beyond that, there's also our B2B sales, like wholesale sales component, where we have used furniture stores from various states in Malaysia that buy from us. So they will send a truck to our warehouse and fill it up and then bring it back to their store. So those are the few of our client demographics. Each one has their own particular needs. Some of them would want like really good with really low prices, off the retail price of the item. Some of them they come to us because we like for the businesses, they usually come to us because we manage to consolidate a lot of the supply together. So it's one stop. They come to us and they no need to go anywhere else, So it's more convenient for them. So yeah, for the different groups, there's different particular needs.
So for the supplier, it can be personal and also hotels, restaurant. When they
Yeah,
renovate, they want to remove the
get
old
rid of
one
it.
so they can deal with you, right?
That's right.
And for the buyer, of course, you have the traditional second hand store, and you also have B2C customers as well.
Yes, we do. So we have walk-ins to our warehouse, and also people buy on Carousel, Facebook Marketplace, and Muda. Those are our three main online channels. We'll be looking to do our own website soon, uh, like probably in by the Q3 or Q4 this year. Yeah,
It's like a marketplace, lah, a
that's right.
platform, like in a way, right?
Yeah.
So what you're trying to do is quite huge, where you have to deal
Mm.
with logistic, you have to deal with people, and
Yeah.
all that.
Yep.
So, but it's something that we do need here in Malaysia. So,
Yeah.
what other support do you need to grow?
Mm, so I mean, I think access to the furniture brands and certain like even government, that has a lot of idle assets, I think will be good. It's not always clear who to deal with when you deal with like the bigger corporations as well, especially in terms of this, because a lot of them don't know who is supposed to handle those idle assets. And it's usually an overlooked component in an organization. So I think slowly we need to get there. Of course, uh, operationally, having advice operationally, I think it's something that's good because I think like our background is actually not from like warehouse management, from logistics management and stuff like that. Advices in that extent, I think will be super helpful to us. And also, yeah, on the funding side, I think it's something that we require support in as well.
So the issue is not on the demand, but not right now. It's more on the supply, right?
Yeah, being able to collect the supply efficiently and cost effectively. Yeah.
Because one of the reason why I invite you for this session,
Mhm.
especially in this Ramadan, is a lot of people they want to clear their house,
Yeah.
so they want to like have new furniture or just right now there's a minimalism movement, right? So they
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to give out as much. So rather than just throwing them away, they can actually make some money out of it.
That's
So,
right.
listeners, if you have any friends or family that might need the service, do contact him. You can make some duit raya from
Yeah, that's right.
your old junk,
Yep.
and it shows that everything has value, even though something that you see as a burden, as a something that takes up a lot of space, but you can actually make some money out of it and also
Right.
contribute to less waste to the landfill.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
I think what you're doing is really awesome, and we would love to see how it pans out.
Right.
On the last question,
Mhm.
is what's the future of Unearth?
So if you notice, like most like commerce currently is actually built outwards, one direction, right? The from the factory, the manufacturing to the warehousing or distribution, and then to the consumer. Currently, what's lacking is the route back from the consumer back into the economy. So that's essentially what we're trying to build. And we don't want to limit it to just furniture, but for every single thing, to make an easy backwards route from the consumer back into the economy. So that's essentially what we're trying to build. It will be a long journey, but
It's the missing link for
that's
the
right.
security, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So that's essentially what we're trying to build, to be that layer that provides um, the way back for items back into the economy. Economy.
Are you looking to grow outside of Malaysia, or you right now you primarily solving Malaysia's issue.
Yeah, I don't think we layak yet lah to like expand beyond Malaysia. Belum layak lagi. Yeah, slowly we build Malaysia to be strong. We want it to be a homegrown kind of initiative as well. And yeah, sure, eventually export it out. Export what we've built out to the different countries.
What about your coverage? I mean, like in Malaysia, where do you cover?
Yeah, currently we only cover Klang Valley for the collections. Uh, for sales, actually, we do have customers from various states, but they will actually come to our warehouse in previously Klang, now Kampung Baru Subang, to actually pick up the items.
So if let's say they have the things like, for example, a hotel in Melaka or Johor,
Mm.
if let's say they can arrange the transport, then the issue is the transport, right?
That's right. I mean, if it's a big order, we can try to arrange it for them. But if usually the people that send their trucks over, they have their own store, so they already have their own trucks that they will come and pick it up from us.
So we have another question from Bernard. Do you recommend us, the potential seller, to buy only high quality new furniture so we can sell it in the future, like pure leather, solid wood, etc.? What do you recommend to us, especially in the waste and money point of view?
Yeah. So in terms of sellability, high quality furniture definitely sells better as long as you take good care of it lah. Like solid wood, it's infinitely the demand is definitely there. So it actually increases the chance of the item being resold. Um, and it also lasts much longer, so it's easier for you to keep it in sellable condition. But when it comes to chipboard MDF, cheaper woods, it yeah, it's difficult. First of all, it's very difficult for you to keep it in really good condition. Like a small little bump will break it, or like cause irreparable damage to it, um, and which will then affect the chance of it being resold.
I think this, since you've touched on chipboard and certain kind of material, I think
Mhm.
this is what I used to the issues that I used to have, because we
Mhm.
last time we used to do all those kind of furniture.
Mhm.
We do plywood, chipboard,
Mhm. Mhm.
MDF, and those kind of furniture.
Right.
It's easier to work with. It's
Yeah.
consistent and slightly
Mhm.
cheaper.
Yeah.
However, and it and the margin is also bigger. However,
Yeah.
for me, I dislike the end product because
Right.
like what you said, it lasts very short.
Mm.
Water can damage it, and there's a lot of things that eventually you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like why are you selling this? Like blah 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 blah,
Mm.
those kind of thing. So that is
Yeah.
one of the things that that triggers me. Like I want to make furniture that like withstand time,
Yeah.
like the grandfather clock, where
Yeah.
from the grandfather to the it becomes a heirloom, right?
Right.
And that is why I started to work with solid wood.
Mm.
And yes, it's for me in the restoration, it's so much. I mean, like compared to panel like chipboard, it's so much easier to work or restore solid wood, which is why I we move most of our operation towards solid wood now, because
Right.
it lasts long, and
Yeah. That's right.
it's really nice, and the margin might not be as big compared to
Mm.
panel, but the enjoyment, and you see that thing like last quite a long time is something like very interesting to me lah, because I
That's
wanted
right.
to make thing that like being like uh, go go through generation, right? And now
Mm.
with having your service, buying high quality furniture is consider an not investment lah, but if anything you can monetize it, you
That's
can
right.
make money out of it, right?
That's right.
Before this you use eBay, carousel and all that. So rather than doing it yourself, you can work with Unearth and make your life so much
Yeah.
easier,
Yeah.
and benefit from that lah, because they
That's right.
sort everything for you. You just have to have the product.
Okay.
So I think that's almost, is it all the question? Let's see if we have any other question. Okay, so for all the listeners, if you want to know more about Johnson's business Unearth, you can visit the IG, or you can deal directly with their website, and their team will contact you, and you can clear your house or office or your storage to put
Right.
other junk. But at least one of your problem are solved.
Good call.
So
Yeah.
and also I would like to invite the listeners and everyone else to be part of the conversation. Like we have a community in Facebook called Green Design Malaysia, where we talk about this kind of issue, especially sustainability issue and design, green design here in Malaysia. Be part of the community, be part of the solution, because a lot of the issues that we have uh, 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 cannot be solved by one person. Like right now, we have an issue of mask. A lot of people ask me what to do with
Mm.
all this
Yeah.
waste mask and all that. I'm not a, a specialist in that, so I can't really answer. But if we have a conversation between like maybe 50 people, at least three or four will find good ways of using it. So
Yeah.
be part of the conversation, be part of community, be part of the solution to making our Malaysia greener. And to Johnson, thank you very much for coming in as a guest and sharing your story. For the
Thank you so much for having
viewers,
me. Yeah.
see you next time and have a green week ahead. Bye bye, guys.
Green Raya.